Hello everyone, welcome. This is your elective subject, hardware and PC maintenance, setting up of a local area network. So user account creation. User accounts, every user account has a username and a password. A username is a text string that identifies the user account assigned to a system. Okay, so there are three examples of possible usernames are Mike 1 or John dot Smith or some dot person at hotmail.com. So associated with the every username is a password, a unique key known only by the system and the person using that username. So this username and password are encrypted on the system, and only those with the username and password are allowed to access to the system via the login process. So the username and passwords are encrypted, that means these are kept in some other form than the original form. Okay, so every Windows system stores the user accounts as an encrypted database of usernames and passwords. Windows calls each record in this database a local user account. So a database is a collection of rows, and each row or each record in this database is a local user account. So creating a user account not only adds a username to a database, it also generates several folders on a computer. In Windows, for example, each user account gets unique personal folders such as documents, desktop, pictures, music and more. Already we have seen such folders on our computers. If you create username, a separate user account, then you will be given the separate folders. Okay, so by default only a person logged in as a specific user can access the personal folders for that user account. So the next step is to secure the local user account, that is through the passwords. Passwords help secure user accounts. You should protect your passwords, that means never give out passwords over the phone. So if someone learns your username and password, he or she can log on to your computer. Okay, so even if the user account has only limited permissions, perhaps it can only read files, not edit them, you still have a security breach. So you should not give your passwords to any other person. Okay, so you should choose good passwords. That means others should not be able to predict your passwords. That means usually we give our passwords will be related to us. That means a pet name, it may be our pet name or some other passwords, easily predictable, isn't it? So we should not give such passwords which others can predict it easily. So we should choose good passwords, and make sure users have a strong, that is called a strong password, at least 8 characters in length, and including letters, numbers and non-alphanumeric symbols, that means special characters. Okay, so we should we should include all these letters, numbers and non-alphanumeric symbols to make a strong password. Okay, so creating a local user account steps: select start, settings, accounts, and then select family and other users. Select add someone else to this PC, and select I don't have this person sign in information, and on the next page select add a user without a Microsoft account. Enter a username, password and password hint, or choose security questions, and then select next. Okay, so next, changing a local user account to an administrator account. So local user account to administrator account. So administrator account has all the accessible full right on the system. That means settings, all type of settings is allowed for administrator account. So user account is having limited access to the system, and administrator account is having full access to the system. So changing a local user account to an administrator account, the step is first one, select start, settings, accounts, and then under family and other users select the account owner name, then select change account type. Under account type select administrator and then select OK. Sign in with the new administrator account. Okay, so this is how to create user accounts and changing user account to administrator account. So now configuring the IP address, Internet Protocol address. IP address is each and every system on a network is having its own IP address. IP address is the 32-bit number each, and each computer is having its own unique IP address. Okay, so network protocol software takes the incoming data received by the network card, keeps it organized, sends it to the application that needs it, and then takes outgoing data from the application and hands it to the NIC to be sent out over the network. So the software takes the incoming data received by the network. So network card or NIC card receives the incoming data. Okay, so all networks use some network protocol. Here the commonly used network protocol is TCP/IP, Transmission Control Protocol. Internet Protocol is the primary protocol of most modern networks, including the internet. For a computing device to access the internet, it must have TCP/IP loaded and configured properly. Okay, so configuring TCP/IP. So there are some steps to configure the IP address. See the steps. First one is, in Windows, open the control panel and go to the network and sharing center applet. Click change adapter setting. After that, double click the local area network icon. Click the properties button, highlight Internet Protocol version 4, that is TCP/IP IP version 4, and click the properties button. In the properties dialog box, click the radio button next to use the following IP address. See here, the radio button, use the following IP address. Use the radio button is clicked. See, a typical IP address will be like this: 132.17.243.12. It is the dotted decimal notation. Okay, it is 32-bit number, and subnet mask 255.255.0.0. See, the subnet mask will divide the IP address as a network address and host address. Okay, the host address is the address of the individual system. Network address is the network address in which the host resides. Okay, so here subnet mask is 255.255. So here 255 and .255 will be network address, and 0.0 and 2 octets. Here 2 octets reserved for network address and remaining 2 octets reserved for host address. Okay, so here subnet mask divides IP address into network address and host address. The fourth step, enter the IP address in the appropriate field. Okay, here the appropriate field. See, the field is given here. Field is reserved for IP address. Enter the IP address in the appropriate field. Press tab key to skip down to the subnet mask field. Okay, the next field is subnet mask field. Note that the subnet mask is entered automatically, although you can type over this if you want to enter a different subnet mask. Okay, optionally enter the IP address for a default gateway, and optionally enter the IP addresses of a preferred DNS server, a domain name server, system server, and an alternate domain name system server. Okay, domain name system, that is the name of the IP address. Okay, the name of the IP address. The domain name server keeps all the records of IP address. So 8th step, that is click the OK button to close the properties dialog box, and 9th one is click the close button to exit the local area connection status dialog. So this is how to configure the IP address. Okay, and here one more is MAC addressing, that is media access control addressing. which is hard code in the NIC. Okay, when you purchase a NIC, each NIC comes with a unique MAC address. So it is called a physical address. Double click on the network icon that is available on the toolbar. Click on the support tab. So here local area connection, network icon. Click on the network icon and click on details button. MAC address is also called the physical or LAN address. When the details button is clicked, the MAC address of your system is obtained. Okay, so here the figure. So you will get a MAC address like this. See the physical address. Okay, 001109789074. Okay, you will get the physical address like this, that is MAC address. Physical address is MAC address. The alternate way of finding the MAC address is click start, run and type CMD. Run and you will get this dialog box, and type CMD and click on OK to open the command prompt. Okay, so you will get type ipconfig bar all to obtain the MAC addresses of that system. Okay, so this is, you should type these commands in the command prompt and you will get the physical address. This is the physical address. One more is ARP, that is address resolution protocol. ARP is nothing but address resolution protocol, and its job is to match MAC address to IP address. In system A's ARP table, the information of system B and its MAC address is stored. Similarly, if system A talks to system C, will have the same information of system C stored on the ARP table. System B replied to system A and therefore will have stored the relevant information. See, all the systems are having its own ARP table. That means system A, for example, system A communicates with the system B, then system A will store the system B's MAC address. Okay, and if system A talks to system C, then system A will store the MAC address of system C. Okay, so it is stored in the ARP table. So run ARP -A in the command prompt, which will report on all the information that it has stored on the ARP table during the usage of the network for that system. The ARP table is dynamic system table. It is built up at the time of communicating with the different systems. Okay, see the ARP table, it is a dynamic table. Okay, each time your system communicates with the other system, the MAC address of other system will be stored in the ARP table. Okay, so your system will have the ARP table and containing all the MAC addresses of the systems whichever it has communicated. Okay, it has communicated with. So after a period of time, if system A no longer speaks to system B, the system will age out the entry in the ARP table. Okay, hence no ARP entries found message is displayed in the command prompt. So when you type run ARP -A, it will show the ARP table. Okay, so this is the ARP table. That means the MAC addresses of systems whichever your system has been communicated. Okay, so this is the ARP table. So after a period of time, if a system is no longer speaks to system B or to any other system, okay, if your system is not communicating with any other system, means for a long period, then there will be the entries will be deleted. The ARP table entries will be deleted. So when you type the command, run ARP -A, you will get no ARP entries found. Okay, so this is no ARP entries found.